you already know what's about to come down, man. We have, how can I put this? We have a special couple, man, that I'm excited to have on the show today, man. When I tell you, outside of just being entrepreneurs, but they doing a little bit of what we was just saying that I had a kind of a fear about. So I'm gonna talk to this brother because we're gonna have a man to man, see how he hold this shit. Well, we gonna talk a little bit, man, because he gotta get me in this whole situation because I don't want to give it up. So I'm gonna just throw it to classy lady Sparkle. Who do we have today?
All right, see, today I want to ask y'all a question. What do you think of when we say power couple? Well, think no more. One power couple tonight is Desiree and Marquise Burns. Their love started with a shared passion for traveling, both for flight attendants, and decided to join a flight attendant group on social media for Black crew members in search of motivation, positivity, and fun. And unexpectedly, they found each other. In this exclusive interview, you're going to hear them discuss how the pandemic changed their life, talk about their desires, and what sparked fashion and creativity for Burns Brims. Without further ado, let's give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to power couple Desiree and Marquise Burns.
Hey, there they go. There, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
There you go. How y'all doing? How y'all making out?
Good. Really excited. We're excited to be on the show.
No,
So I have a question, like right off the bat. You don't find too many black um uh uh oh, I forgot about the word. You don't find too many black wh- uh,
Entrepreneurs.
What is it centered around? Like, is it centered around like?
yes, flight attendants. I'm sorry. I'm fried. Like so, yeah. I mean, the fact that you two found each other, I'm just amazed by that, and I think it's awesome that you started this. And just tell us a little bit about like how you met.
When you tell them,
Yeah, he has the best version.
yes, sir. We met in Miami. How did it happen? It was a flight attendant Facebook group, like she said in the introduction.
And to add on to what you said, like in 2013, there was this big hiring spree with the airline because they hadn't hired in 12 years. So it was a bunch of black people, like a bunch of It was like they tried to make it a melting pot at that point. So, yeah.
So the group was young and jumping and excited, and then they when they first created it, then they started doing these meet and greets. So the first one was in Miami, and I was single, ready to mingle. She was on the same page. We was both about a year and a half out of previous relationships, so we weren't looking for nothing. But I came down there, and I'm telling you, as soon as she saw me, she started. I'm playing. I'm playing. Now I was in a Facebook group, and I was friending all the women that was coming, and I friended her, and I'm in my room throwing back shots, getting ready. The first meetup spot was Wet Willie's on the strip, and then I remember being there. I've always been an extrovert, so I was there mingling, pushing tables together, and then I saw this beautiful woman about to walk through the door, and just so happened I was at the end of the table, and I opened the door and I grab her hand and I go, "You look so familiar." She's like, "You just friended me about an hour ago on Facebook." That was our first words.
Yeah.
Oh my
for sure.
gosh.
You slid in her inbox, huh? That's what that was.
I didn't. Yeah, pretty much.
Every female that was going, he was friending. So.
Wow.
I was hunting. I was on the hunt.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So when did you guys like just get the entrepreneur bug? Like, how far in your relationship did you decide like let's start this business?
Yeah, well, Desi tell you, I've always been an entrepreneur. Like it's always been that's just where my gears turn.
Mm-hmm.
And Desi knew it, and then during the pandemic, well, first off, the wife, she had already started her business first. She got a baby onesie business called Olivia and Ivy. So it was dope to sit back and watch her create something and build it, and I like to say, I lit that fire in her, but then see her do it first. So
It was like right before the pandemic is when I was starting it, and then once the pandemic happened, and we were both furloughed from our jobs, then it really took off from there. So, um,
and then during the pandemic, we picked up our travels. A lot of people were slipping because during the pandemic, everything was cheaper. Like flights was empty, resorts and stuff was cheap. So me and Desi really picked up our travel. So within that, Desi knew already always wear brims and cowboy boots and always talked about, opening up a store and having a brand. But during that travel, I started taking my hats and flipping them and doing all kinds of crazy things to them to, just to keep them looking fresh with the different outfits as much
yeah,
as
he was
traveling.
cutting up shirts and tying them around, making like little bandanas around them with the shirt print and all kinds of stuff. And people started stopping them.
Yeah, everywhere, airport, every place, everybody was asking about the hats. And then one day, finally, Desi was like, "Baby, you've been talking about these hats," and she just looked at me and said, "It's time for you to get started. Like, you need to get this, you need to get this ball rolling." And I took heed.
Fantastic. Fantastic, man. Me over here as an image consultant myself, one of the go-to accessories are these hats. And I wanna start there, right? Let's talk a little bit about what got you into Burns and Brims, right? That's the name of it, right? And so what got you into these hats and creating some custom fitted ones and these dynamics? Because right now we were talking about culture, we was talking about sneakers as a culture and how they're kind of starting to spread their seeds within fashion from formal to even street style. We already know that, but now we're seeing these hats, these fedoras, or these different style of hats, big brims, starting to sprinkle within the culture from street style all the way up to formal. Why do you think that is, right? And then two, how did you get started into that?
Well, let me see. I think first off, I feel like it was always in our culture. When you go back and you look at the history of it, way back to Malcolm X sporting them, before he was Malcolm X when he was red,
Little.
um, but when you look at the history of our culture, when we was walking around in the suits and we had the hats, it was always like this. I want to say it gave this feeling of confidence, of strength, and but then it's a classic man style, so it's always stood the test of time. But finally, within today's era, the way this young school is right now mixing up the style, I just love it. But for me, I've always been into hats. Ever since I was a little jit, I was about the cowboy brims. I grew up loving cowboys, watching the cowboy movies and everything, and it was like and then the gangster flicks and everything, the tough guy look. And I've always liked brim. So even in high school, I was rocking them. My first hat was actually a cowboy hat. My Uncle Rex bought it for me at a gas station when we was traveling to a family reunion when we were little. And Granny couldn't afford it, and so I think it was like $50 hat. And Uncle saw how bad I wanted it. I'm probably about 8 years old, and he bought it for me. So that was my first one. And then after that, it just grew. So I was rocking them all the way through high school, and then when I got to college, and I was on a full ride football scholarship. So when I got to college, I was finally able to start buying and affording what I want. So I really went crazy then. I started really copping the hats and the boots, and so it's always just been my thing. I didn't jump on it and start biting it. It's always been my thing. So that's why when I started the business, it made sense to everybody that knows me. It just made sense. It clicked. Mm-hmm.
For sure, I gotta make sure that you gotta make sure you send one down here to We Talk Weekly, man. You
Oh,
know,
really?
you already know your publicist know us very well, man. She been working hard for y'all, man. Kudos to her, man. We love her to death, right?
Yeah, Miss Leslie.
Yeah, shout out to Leslie. She be holding her clients down, man. We love her to death. But yeah, make sure you send one down here for us, my brother.
Oh, definitely.
I need one of them things.
Y'all let me know. We gonna definitely chop it up after this so I can get y'all together.
For sure. Now you got this lovely young lady right next to you who has been holding you down, and we had this conversation prior to today. Well, not prior to today, but just earlier before we started the show, and a lot of it had to do with traveling, right? I myself, right, which I had a conversation with some of some of my friends and stuff like that, and we don't travel a lot, right? The guys, we don't really. It's not one of those things, and I think for me, I got a fear traveling, right? Going somewhere and not knowing one where I'm at, who I can call if I need to go to the hospital, if I need to anything, right? So that's kind of like a fear of mine. Plus, I think I watched like Hostel 1, 2, and 3. So that got so I know, right? So that play a part into it, but. Yeah, I mean, so it's just one of those things, man. But what made you guys? Because both of you guys are flight attendants, right? And so what made you guys say to yourself, like, yo, you like to travel, I like to travel. Let's start filming this. Let's start, archiving this stuff and putting it out there, and it's starting to get buzz, and I think it's starting to become another travel culture, right? And so you guys are traveling together, and you're able to experience different places. But before I get into like what's your favorite places to go, what do you guys recommend? What made you guys start though? Like, we're gonna start doing this and then start to select the places that you wanted to go.
So first off, like one of my big things of wanting to record it is for people like you.
Yes.
People broaden like the Black community in the mind to let you know you can do it, you're able to do it, and there's nothing to be scared of.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. I want to thank you for thinking about us, no doubt.
So that was one of the things. What about it for you?
For me, I was always recording. I was always capturing everything. My major was fine arts with a focus of graphic design. So even way back when, I was a party promoter once upon a time, and I would record and chop it up, and it was just something I've always liked to do. So once I met my queen, I really started recording and capturing everything. I like to say, I got like this crazy memory thing that goes on to where I can't. It's like my memory's like weird, and I like to. I capture everything because I think my mind moves so fast. I'm gonna say that my mind moves so fast. I'm always thinking about the next best thing. So it's almost like for me, it was like I gotta capture everything. Now, of course, we balance it when we go on our trips and record. We don't let it ruin our time. Like, let's say if we first got to the hotel, we'd be like, okay, baby, the first hour, let's capture the room, let's record us going in, let's make some silly videos, let's just get some content while we're in the room, and then we sit it down.
Yeah.
Chill, we relax.
There has to be a balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it could be consuming, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's that was the first question of, and hold on.
Why we do this?
Yeah, why do you do it? Why? What's the why? I want to know the why. Like, what is the intrigue?
Yeah. And another thing too is like, I mean, I found traveling and the places we've been and the things that we've seen, so many of them are surreal. And it's a feeling that you will feel once you see something like that's like out of this world. Like you're standing next to an elephant or a tiger. Like it kind of is so surreal. Like you have to record it. You want to look back on it because it's weirdly easy to not forget, but it's adrenaline.
Yep. Well, to piggyback what she initially said, to show other people that not look at us,